Okay, so the video you just watched was, shot and edited by, somebody we have in the studio. But just before we introduce him, let's, talk about photography and videography, which was once a profession looked down upon. It is now the fastest growing profession in the industry. Now, due to advancement in technology, it is gradually becoming one of the most sought after skills globally as people continue to crave better looking and properly documented photographs and videos. Now, it has become a full-time profession for some who depend solely on the acquired skill for sustenance. And in the studio, we have Thomas David, a photographer and a videographer, to tell us, how the industry has evolved over the years. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Daybreak Extra.
Oh, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh.
All right, so talking about photography and videography, you actually hardly find, someone who is both. You either find someone who is either a photographer or a videographer. How do you balance both?
Yeah, gone are those days where we have someone to focus on just one profession, where right now we have basically hybrid cameras, and we are moving into the digital world. We have both cameras that shoot both stills and also videos. So it's no longer a time where people should focus just on one aspect of it. If you have what can do both, I feel then definitely you can definitely do both. As a student photographer, as a student photographer and also a videographer, there are some of us that this stuff is what actually keeps us going. It keeps us going in life and stuff like that. So I started videography and photography for like 3 years now, and we're still coming up and we're still pushing and coming up as a young entrepreneur as well. And the industry right now, we have a lot, when I mean a lot of people coming up, a lot of young entrepreneurs who shoot both videos and photography. And trust me, basically almost every brand right now, from clothing line to fashion line to whatsoever you can think of, we are needed globally. Like photography and videography is something that we can't just do without, because it's basically what communicates what we have or what we have to show to the world entirely. So it is more like a time where anyone who is considering to be a videographer or a photographer should actually not even think twice of it. Because it is the trend.
So what attracted you to it in the first place? Like you said, you started it for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to it? What was the draw?
Yeah, we do. You see, for everything one has to do, it has to come from the mind. It's a thing of passion. If it doesn't come from the mind and it's not something that you really love, trust me, you won't do it. And for most people who started this, they don't just start with a digital camera or a professional digital gadget. Most people, you have to start small. Most people started with their phone, trust me. When you start with your phone, that's where you get to know your strengths and weaknesses. Even for pictures, for still, for videos, I think what actually even drove me, I started shooting pictures before I moved to shooting videos. Because at some point I was taking pictures with my phone, and when people look at it, they'd be like, wow, like this is amazing. Like I can literally just take a picture of you and you'll be like, wow, you took this picture with your phone. So gradually with time, while I was shooting pictures or while I was shooting stills, then it got to a point that I understood that, oh, my camera can actually shoot both videos. So then I was shooting videos, but didn't really have much plan on the editing. Like I didn't really have much skill on the editing part. So most of this editing part, you have to learn it online. Because trust me, photography and videography, it's an expensive career. For anybody who is going to tell you to go into photography or as a budding photographer or to go into videography, it's definitely an expensive career.
Okay, so you talked about, if you want to go into videography, what equipment does one need if, they want to start videography?
Most importantly, you need your laptop. It's going to help you learn faster.
Okay.
After you get your laptop, you can get your camera. Then you can get your mic. Do you get? Those three particular things should be one of the things you should be more focused on. If you have your laptop, your camera, and your mic, trust me, you can shoot amazing videos right now. That's why I told you we really have like good cameras that have come up right now that you can style it to, and trust me, you do amazingly well. I always tell people it's not by the gadgets you are using, but the person itself. So knowledge is power.
But how high is the demand for videographers in Nigeria today?
The hype for videography, it cannot be underestimated because, as I earlier mentioned, videography is something that is needed everywhere, from wedding to movie production to short films. Even people that make food. I mean, these days people need trailers of their work to be shown, and trust me, seeing is believing. These days you can't just show someone a picture and then you expect somebody to just believe, because a picture can actually be over edited and you make someone look artificial and stuff like that. But when you show someone video, it's more like you are showing him the moment, so there is no way that it's going to be unbelievable, trust me. But a picture, I can literally remove you and then just manipulate it anyhow. But when you show someone a video, so the high demand for videography, it's literally everywhere, especially in Nigeria. Do you get? In Nigeria, you have to show people what's going on. Do you get? And there is no way you're going to show them what's going on without giving them like a very good result of the video which you are trying to like pass across to them. Right now, there is a way you can actually portray your videos, like whether it's going to have to be a product video or whatsoever. There's a way you're going to portray it to the audience and also to the viewers that are looking up to the video and stuff, that it's going to make them believe that, okay, yeah, this is actually what is going on. Yeah.
So, so you talked about the different things that you can actually use videography for. So, where do you have a specialty, or do you dabble into everything? You do events, you do trailers, you do all sorts of things, or is it that you have a specialty that is something that you actually looking at?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. So, like, videography and photography, they are very, very wide. Do you get? So, at first you have to try a lot. Do you get? You have to try from food photography, from product photography, because you are still trying to gain mastery. So trust me, until you gain mastery before you can have a niche. Do you get? For every work, you have to try from left, middle, center, and whatsoever. So until you gain mastery before you can be able to create a niche. So what I mean by creating a niche is basically having a specific field. Having a specific field that when people are looking up, or when people are looking for something, they get to know that, okay, there is no doubt that I can't get this from this person. So if I'm a product photographer or I'm a product videographer, so basically I shoot product or for outfits, do you get? It means I'm able to gain perfection in shooting fashion. Like, I'm able to gain perfection. So if you are to come up to me and be like, hey, you need a videographer for this and you need a videographer for that, I might tell you that, okay, I'm not really that good at shooting weddings. Do you get? There are people that enjoy shooting weddings. Do you get? But there are people that enjoy shooting fashion. Yes. So you have to try out a lot. You shoot weddings, you shoot whatsoever that you can shoot before you gain mastery. It is when you gain mastery that you can be able to create your own niche. And once you create your own niche and you stick up to that, your client base come through that.
So right now you don't have one?
Right now I have a niche, so as you can see, that's the product photography we just did.
Okay.
Brand, yeah.
Okay. But so you don't do weddings?
Of course we do, but
okay.
There is something one of my mentors will always say. You say do everything but show what you love.
Okay.
Do you get? So basically you can actually shoot a lot of other events. Do you get? But what you're trying to show people is, this is my perfection. So if you're coming to me, you're getting this at 100. Yes.
Okay. So on a normal, right, how do you plan for a shoot, whether it's photography or videography? How do you plan for a shoot? And if you're editing the videos, what kind of questions do you ask yourself? And how do you get motivation, and where does your creativity come from?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Planning for a shoot, as I'll tell you something, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Do you get proper preparation? It prevents poor performance. There are clients that will likely just chat you up and reach out to you and be like, hey, I need a shoot and stuff like that. And they will expect you to create magic. Do you get? It doesn't work like that. For every scene you see, probably on set, online, or whatsoever, and it came out perfectly, there is possibly a lot of errors that had been done already. There's possibly a lot of trials that had been done, trial and error and stuff. But when you prepare for a shoot, you can actually prepare for a shoot, either a photography shoot or a videography shoot, for like weeks, some takes months, depending on how good you want that to come out. But for videography, you have to really prepare, because it's not like photo shoots where you just come and be like, hey, you stay, snap, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't work like that. So for videography, you have to prepare from your sound. Do you get? Videography is not something that you want to compromise, especially when it comes to sound. It's what people listening. Do you get? It's not just about what people watch as well, especially when it comes to sound. Do you get? Down to the view of it. So sometimes it takes weeks of preparation. Do you get? You have to keep in touch with your characters, both the people that are supposed to play a certain part or a certain role. Do you get? Make sure that they are really prepared, so that I don't take people unaware and you be like, hey, you want to create something and you expect them to, or you expect magic to come out of it. Do you get? My post-production, when I come for my editing, basically I use two major softwares. Do you get? I use a Premiere Pro, so that's some of the Adobe collections. I use the Premiere Pro as well, After Effects of it. So my inspiration, I don't know if I'm saying my inspiration comes from God. I don't know, but definitely it comes around from what you see. That's why it's very good to have people you look up to. Do you get? People that inspire you. Do you get? People that inspire you to want to do something like that. It's not like you're doing something exactly like what they're doing. Do you get? But you're having to do something. They inspire you, like you want to be like them someday. So you have one or two things in common with them.
So what's your thought process like when you're about to do a job? Do you have to conceptualize everything from beginning to end, and at least have a mental idea of what you want in your mind from beginning to end, or do you sometimes just wing it?
Okay. Sometimes no matter how you plan something, trust me, no matter how you plan something, it can't go exactly the way you want it to be. Do you get? At some point, that's why it's very important as a videographer to work with a team. Yes, trust me, you're only as good as your team. Do you get? So you're only as good as your team. So you may be running a scene that is going on, and then something might just pop up and somebody will be like, hey, this. You get, this supposed to be like this. So it wasn't planned initially. You get? Those are more like, we regard them to as impromptu calls. You get? It wasn't planned, but it will still work out. It wasn't part of the plan, but it became part of the plan along the process. Yes. So basically, you can't predict how your shoot is going to be like from the beginning to the end. You just have to have an idea of what you want. Just like you have your own plan and God has his own plan too.
So actually it's a little bit of both. You actually have a plan, you have what you want to follow through on, and then whatever comes up, you wing it.
Exactly.
All right. So what do you say is most challenging about being a videographer?
I would love to speak on this part of being a videographer, not just a videographer, but being a videographer in Nigeria. It's very challenging, coupled with the fact that expenses, like our gadgets, are very expensive. Trust me, if you need good work, you have to spend a lot of money on videography. Do you get from the kind of system you're supposed to use? You don't use any kind of system to shoot videos, basically, because our softwares are actually take up a lot of space. Do you get? We need very good screen calibration, from your RAM to your processing to your screen calibration and whatsoever. Do you get? And for cameras, and I know sometimes you need high-end cameras, although depending on the video you're shooting. If you are shooting a very, maybe like a high-paid job, you can shoot 4K. You can shoot, yeah. So I always tell people that there are certain jobs that, trust me, it will require you to like rent gadgets. Yes, and people are not going to give you gadgets for free. So videography, I told you initially, videography is an expensive career. Do you get? Videography is an expensive career, and people are supposed to be aware of that, because if you don't pay for value, you end up getting low quality products. So whoever is doing videography right now, he should have more like years of experience. Trust me, you should have years of experience, because it's not something you wake up overnight. Unlike photography, trust me, you can be a very, very good photographer within a year.
Okay.
Possible less.
So for you to actually still be doing this, would you say you're doing it for passion, out of passion, or would you say you're doing it for the money? And how lucrative is it?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. There is a saying that says, when you learn, you remove the L and N. Do you get?
You earn.
Yes. So there will be a point where you're doing it for the passion. The passion first should always drive you. In whether you are earning or you are not earning, you have to go with the passion. So the passion should always drive you. At some point, we were doing it all for the passion, let's just go and create. So the more we understand that, okay, this is very, very high on demand, and people are beginning to have more interest in the whole videography, both young upcoming artists and all, and we'll be like, okay, so what if we were to charge them for do you get? Let's charge. They will pay because they need it. Do you get? So at some point you do it for the passion, and along the way you start earning while you still have your passion with you. Do you get?
So what are you doing it for?
Passion with it. I'm a student, and basically this had been what had been sustaining me for I'm a student of Natural State University, and this is what has been sustaining me, trust me.
Okay.
To pay my bills and so.
So that's nice. So do you do like apart from the product videography that you talked about? Yeah. Have you done other works like music videos? They're quite popular these days because everybody wants to be a musician. These days, everybody wants to be an artist, and the first thing that they do is they go out there and they get a video out. So, have you explored that?
Yeah, exactly. I always tell people this thing. You get? And I'm going to say, I think I mentioned it earlier on. I said, the job that will demand you to use high gadgets, some will require you to rent. Do you get? And you can't speak of a process that probably you've not really attained. Do you get? Like, there are lots of high-end videos that you're seeing online and all. So you may know the process, but you can't speak of it because your knowledge is not up to that.
Okay.
Do you get? But like for all these upcoming artists that maybe they reach out to us, hey, David, what's up? I want to shoot a video and all. Do you get? Most times yes, by all means, we're still learning. Do you get? So we can use them to like learn along the process. But trust me, for now, I don't really shoot like high-end videos because of the gadgets that I use as well. So it's actually a process, and we're following the process and trusting it.
Okay, so in your opinion, what are the most important qualities for a videographer to have or possess?
Qualities for a videographer to have. First of all, you have to think of qualities of being a good human being. Do you get? Not just a videographer. For people to acknowledge or recognize you as a good videographer, you have to be a responsible person. Do you get? You have to be a dedicated person. You have to be a committed person. I always tell people this thing, like consistency, commitment, and you have to be consistent. You have to be committed, and you have to be driven by passion as well. Do you get those three qualities? Trust me, because when you are committed and you are driven by passion, there are some points that you feel like giving up, even as an upcoming videographer or a photographer, whatsoever you're doing, whichever field. But because of how passionate you are and how committed you are to that which you're doing, trust me, you'll be like, this is just like a phase. This is just like a phase to what I'm passing through. It's more like a phase. Trust me, it's going to wear off. So you have to be committed. You have to be consistent as well. You have to be passionate. So you have to love what you do. Because at the end of the day, vision is what not everybody can see. Vision it's for individuals. So if you are driven by vision, then if it is truly vision that drives you, then it means you have a purpose and you know where you're heading to. And basically that's it.
Okay. All right. And I think with that, we'll wrap up this discussion. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been talking to a photographer and videographer, Thomas David, telling us how the industry has evolved over the years. Thank you so much. Hope to have you again on the show.